You're watching Hype Life Films, and we're here at the Anime Revolution 2012 here in Vancouver. This year, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Sailor Moon. And I'm sitting here with Susan Roman, who played Sailor Jupiter. How are you, Susan?
I'm feeling great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Good. So tell us, how did you land this role of Sailor Jupiter? I know you were one of the very few cast members that lasted throughout the entire season. Tell us about how that was for you.
Well, first of all, I should have put my microphone in front of my mouth when I said hello.
Yeah.
So that's a very silly mistake for a voice person to make, but
That's
you know,
okay.
it's
That's
like
okay.
Okay, so I'll say it again. Hello. Okay, how did I? Well, there was a big casting call.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the first audition was for Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
So all of Toronto and probably east and west, points east and west of there, showed up for the audition.
Right.
And we all really wanted to be Sailor Moon because
Right.
it's such a great part.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see heroes who were female,
Right.
and certainly not that age, certainly not so cute, and certainly not so human
Yeah.
and real.
Yeah.
And full of flaws. And so after the auditions were over, my agent called me and said, "Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. You didn't get Sailor Moon, but you got Sailor Jupiter."
Right.
And so I looked it up and I said, "Oh, that's great," because of all the Sailor Scouts, she
Yeah.
was the one that I identified with the most.
Right. Okay.
So it was very, very good piece of news for me.
Now, Sailor Jupiter is actually personally my favorite.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
I love her lightning rod. Would I be able to hear the battle cry she does?
Oh, she does a lot of them, but
the main one.
Okay, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Jupiter, thundercloud, crash, and that's where the sound man now has just gone
Nice.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what the tonsil burners. We had to do those in every single show. The war cries or whatever.
Right.
And so if you don't get it right the first time, in fact, you say to yourself, "Get it right the first time," because I do not want to have to do this again. Because I
Right.
just did it at half throttle right now
Yeah.
because I didn't want to break your microphone.
Right. So you have previous training for reaching that kind of loudness in your voice.
Yeah, well, it comes from going to theater school.
Right.
Because you're projecting, you're learning how to speak so that your voice can project to the back row.
Right.
So it's exactly the same sort of thing. Breath control when
Yeah.
you're doing animation. Animation is very, very close
Yeah.
to real acting.
Okay.
It's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's so wonderful about it. You're using the same skills.
Okay. So would you prefer acting or voiceover acting?
Well, I used to be an on-camera actress. I was for
Okay.
the first 20 years of my life. And then
Right.
one day I just decided not to do it anymore.
Okay.
And I like being behind in the safety of a studio
Yeah.
and doing my thing.
Yeah.
And no, it doesn't really matter so much what you look like, but
Yeah.
it's still the same power and the same force that you
Right.
have inside of you.
Okay.
So it's good. I like
Nice.
it.
So I bet you're enjoying this anime convention here in Vancouver?
I think this is terrific. I've been to a number of conventions in Toronto,
Right.
but that was more when the show was actually on the air.
Yeah.
And there were maybe 2 people in costume way back then, and everyone's kind of going, "Oh, look at her, she's wearing a Sailor Moon costume.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?"
Yeah.
So nobody did it.
Right.
So here, everybody is wearing some sort of costume.
Right.
They're walking down the streets. They're in hotel lobbies, on the buses. I
Yeah.
think it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it.
They're all proud of their passion for anime here.
Ah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
and the effort that
Yeah.
goes into it, and the fact that there's an individual creation that goes. I mean,
Right.
obviously you want it to look like the character,
Right.
but then you're also, each person is adding their own little twist.
Yeah.
I love it because
Yeah.
that's what we need. We need more displays of self-expression
Right.
creatively, I
Yeah.
think.
So would you come back again next year if they had Anime Revolution?
I would absolutely come back if they would ask me again. I would love to come back,
awesome.
and I would wear a costume.
Wear the Sailor Jupiter costume?
Well, if it still
If
fits,
it still fits.
you never know.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Susan.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Really nice
Thank
to meet
you.
you, Sean. Take care.
Yeah, you too.